Okay guys, I promise to make a video illustrating what we did, okay, so you can follow. Alright, so I'm going to now, meanwhile you will know how to launch your Visual Studio Code. Okay, so if you have it launched like this, the next thing you will do is to create a folder. So I'm going to create a folder here. JS code. Alright, so if you create the folder, you can drag it when you hold your right button. Okay, your button, you can drag it like this. So if you drag it like this, don't release it, still hold it. Okay, so you just, when you reach the middle here, release the folder. So it's going to open the folder in the Visual Studio Code, right? So you can close this. Get started here. Alright, so file, this file, you'll be using it quite often. If you click on it, you'll be able to see new file, new window. New window will open another instance of the Visual Studio Code. If I click, sometimes you might want to use more than one Visual Studio Code instance, so maybe this one will be used to open another folder. Okay, so but that's not what I want to do. Just to show you, I will close this. Now here, I just showed you this file. These are the two important ones. Okay, this open new window. Okay, so oftentimes when you drag your folder, this is an empty folder, of course. You saw I created on my desktop and dragged here. Okay, so if you hover on it, you will see these icons. This will enable you to create a new file. This will enable you to create a new folder. So these two are the ones you will use quite often. Okay, so I'm just going to create a file here. So it means I'll click on this. Now I can name it anything. And name it my file, just any name at all. But if you are dealing with JavaScript, you must have JavaScript extension, and JavaScript extension is .js, and you hit enter key. Alright, so this will create your JavaScript file. Okay, so now about the Quokka JS I talked about in our lecture. I said Quokka JS will enable me to write JavaScript. Let's say I write a variable like this. You see, now if I have Quokka JS, it should have showed me the result. But because I don't have Quokka JS, it's actually not going to show me anything. So we need Quokka JS to have a smooth running JavaScript that will not be stressful. Okay, so now you go to your left corner here, you click this extension, and then provided you have your internet, you'll be able to search for Quokka like this, and you will see Quokka.js, but I've installed it already. So for you, you're going to click install. Make sure it is this. You see this symbol, this logo or what have you. So you will install it. Make sure it is same extension as this, and just install it. Now if you have installed it, go back to this file. It's empty file, and then you press Ctrl Shift P, right? Then this will come out, provided your Quokka has been installed. Fine. And also note, before you install Quokka that will work, you must install Node.js. Your Node.js must be installed. Okay, so this is what you should click on. It says start on current file. That's to start Quokka. You want to run Quokka in this current file here before you start writing your JavaScript code. So again, I'll do Shift Ctrl P, and then I'll click on this, and then you see that Quokka is getting started. Alright, Quokka is getting started, and here I'll now start writing my JavaScript code. Now we talked about variables. We say we have different keywords. We have var, we have let, and we have const. And we say that if I'm using var, my data be equal to, let's say I stored 300, right? Then I can console.log. With the help of Quokka will give me a result directly. I'll be able to see it. But if you don't have Quokka installed, there's another way you can do this. Okay, because you need to see your result, right? You need to see your result. I'm going to show us, in case you're not able to install the Quokka. I'll still show you that you'll be able to write JavaScript without Quokka, or just that Quokka will enable you to see your result as you code directly on the file. Okay, alright, so I'm going to create another file. Now for me to do this, to run JavaScript without Quokka, I'll need to run it on the browser. The browser has JavaScript engine. Yes, every browser has JavaScript engine. So for me to be able to run JavaScript on a browser, I need to write a code, to be run on browser. Then I will now add JavaScript to that code. enough of the talking. Let me just show you. I'll create a file. I'll call it index.html. Now HTML, alright, is what every website must have. Okay, every website must have HTML. So I'll just add, I like doing shortcuts, just do shift exclamation and press. When you see this emit abbreviation, just press enter. Okay, then I'll put H1 here. Welcome to JS. Okay, so this is like a website, you know. So I'm going to open this on a browser. Now I can go to my folder. Remember, my folder is on desktop. Click, and then I'll go to that index, right click, and then I'll open with Google Chrome. Alright, now I am here. Now I'll again right click and then inspect. So when you inspect, you will see console. Now this is where we can start seeing the result of our JavaScript code, instead of Quokka doing it for us directly on the code file. Okay, but so how do we do it for JavaScript for the browser to be showing us results here? We have to attach our JavaScript code in this particular file that we open on the browser. So how do we do that? We just simply do that by doing this here. Okay, over here we'll link, we'll do script, make sure it's this particular one, and then you press enter. Now in this source, you want to reference this JavaScript file, so it will be attached to this index.html. Okay, so my file is called myfile.js. So now that we have it here, if we write JavaScript code here, okay, now we must not use the one that contains Quokka. Let's create another file called another.js, because that Quokka can stop us from achieving what we want. So now that I have another JavaScript file, I'll simply change this to another. You will understand now. So this, it means I don't want to operate with Quokka. I'm showing us how that we can do without Quokka. So you simply create a JavaScript file and then create HTML file. Remember, if I remove it, I told you shift control shift exclamation mark, press your shift key and then exclamation mark and click enter. It will generate this for you. Alright, so I have it back. So, and remember, I've written JavaScript code here. So if I go to the browser and refresh, I should have in the console this info. I should have 300. Now if I do another calculation here, and then this also, if I go to the browser and refresh, I should have my calculation. Okay, so we can write our JavaScript with the help of browsers also. Alright, so this is just what I want to show us. We'll continue by looking at the variables and proper coding as we progress. So make sure you install Node.js in case you're having difficulties installing Node.js. This is what you should do. Node.js download. You can just type Node.js download and you go to this. Oh, my internet connection. So you go for window installer, you click on window installer. Sorry, I'm not going to install it, I have it already. So if you finish installing and if you finish downloading, all you just need to do is to open, okay, or you double click it and start installing it. It's straightforward. Or if you're on Windows, just make sure you download the one for Windows. Okay, so basically you just need to download and install your Visual Studio Code, download and install your Node.js, then you launch your Visual Studio Code and then you open your folder. Remember, I showed you all that in the beginning, and then you install your extension, search for Quokka, and then you do your control shift P, so you can enable your Quokka, and then you start using Quokka. But in case you don't want to use Quokka, you can simply create a JavaScript file, create an HTML file, and then link the JavaScript to it. You must make sure you put the linking in the body. Okay, So this also will enable you. Having done this, you will just continue writing your JavaScript here, and you should be seeing the result because you have linked it on the browser. And also, just repeating myself, for you to view the HTML document or file, just right click on it and do open with, you can choose any browser. I just open with Google Chrome. Then you inspect, you do right click and inspect it, then console. Alright, console is where you should be having your result. Alright, so this is just the small fixes that we needed to do. Alright, thank you. We'll meet again.